This is my 7-figure cold email workflow. It's directly responsible for generating north of $7 million in annual recurring revenue for us and our clients and consistently booking out over 100 meetings every single month. And if you aren't following this exact system in setup and process, chances are you're likely losing leads and money on the table. In this video, I'll show you the 7 tools that we're utilizing right now to create and fully automate this workflow. And if you're a business owner or a lead generation agency that isn't running cold email yet, I'm excited for you. This is absolutely going to change the game for you and your business. This is how other business owners generate mass leads on autopilot and consistently grow and scale their business, and you can do it too. So let's start off with the first tool. So our first tool that we'll be taking a look at here is Porkbun and Squarespace. These two are undoubtedly the 2 best tools that we're utilizing right now to go about purchasing domains that we'll utilize in our campaigns. What we found so far that makes them really effective is, 1, you can just purchase a bunch of different domains in bulk at a rather affordable price point. 2 is that they're really easy to pass along to any resellers if you're working along with them. And then lastly is integration workflows. So we have some automation set up within our business. So whenever a client signs up with us, they immediately get triggered and we go about purchasing domains for that individual, and that just runs automatically. So it works rather compatibly with either of these individuals. And whenever a client does decide to sign up with us, they initially get anywhere from the range of 20 to 40 to 60 different domains. And with each of those domains, with what you're going to need next and what our next tool is going to be is sending accounts. So we will utilize either Microsoft 365 or Google Suite for outbound campaigns. We typically utilize a combination of both for those individuals, and even sometimes work in some private server sending, but that's not a recommendation of mine today. When it comes to Google and Microsoft 365, we'll want to ensure that our sending tool, whatever you're utilizing, and I'll tell you mine a little bit later on in this call, is enabling ESP matching. So essentially that Google sends to Google and Outlook sends to Outlook. It's a little technical aspect there, but it just ensures that like your campaigns match up and are going to be ending up in the inbox every single time. So the domains and the sending accounts are great, but once we have this, we have some initial expenditure that's out. We're going to want to make sure that we're collecting data quickly to ensure that we can utilize and effectively deploy these campaigns at scale, which will bring us into our next tool, Apollo and Ocean. Now, I'm sure everyone is rather familiar with Apollo. It's one of the cheapest and easiest data providers out there in the market. There's no kind of a way around that. And then alternatively is Ocean. And Ocean is our lookalike tool. So what we like to do for our clients that first come on board is run a lookalike campaign. And so I'm sure you've heard of the 80-20 ratio, right? 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of your clients. And so we want to find them more of that 20%, right? What if we could find you 20% more of those clients? What would your business look like then? And so whenever a client signs up to work with us, we will ask them, give us 10 to 20 of your best fit clients right now, or individuals that you would love to work with. We will then import those into Oceans, and Ocean is going to then go and collect a Boolean search of trying to find other highly relevant businesses that look like that. We will then pull out whatever list that is, 4 to 25 to 30,000 different accounts, and import those companies, specifically companies, into Apollo. Now, the reason that we're going to utilize Apollo here as opposed to ListKit or ZoomInfo is strictly just based on cost. We find that Apollo is the most efficient and it has most of the resources we need. If it doesn't have those resources or that data provider that we need, we can go run through a different data waterfall enrichment process. It's a little bit more technical in nature and isn't worth the conversation here today. So we have that company list that's within Apollo now, and then we can just run that for persona-based targeting. And so then from there, you will have a highly relevant audience in the persona-based targeting for the individuals that you exactly want to speak with. But it's not exactly verified and quality data yet. So that'll bring us into our next tool, Million Verifier. Now, what Million Verifier is going to do is it's going to essentially just test out and make sure that all those domains are still active and verifiable, that they are still working. So they're essentially kind of just do some pen testing on those domains to ensure that there's no valid emails or risky catch-all emails. And then it'll just provide you a quick report at the end of that whenever that's completed, so that you can then just import that and start running that in your campaign. Now that we have this data scraped and it's highly verifiable and quality data that we know it's going to end up in the inbox, we need to start figuring out how we're going to send and start engaging all of these different target personas. And that's when Smart Leads comes into play. Over the years, we have tried out a bunch of different sending platforms. We've worked with Lemlist, Instantly, Maility when that was still around, and Smart Leads is what we're on now. And what we've just found is that Smart Leads has the best user interface. Their master inbox function is great. They have different AI features baked into that for AI categorization. And I could go on and on. All that to say, do your own research. We just recommend Smart Leads. What it's going to enable you to do is just connect those pork bun and those Squarespace domains with their sending accounts that are Google and Microsoft with the highly verifiable data that you got from Ocean and Apollo and Million Verifier, and get that all together within one interface where you can then write the scripts, organize the different A, B, C, D testing to go out and start engaging those different target personas. So now you're going to start sending and you're going to start getting replies from those individuals. What you can do is you can just quickly just jump in the master inbox for Smart Leads. And if you have AI categorization turned on, it's going to make your life a whole lot easier. I recommend just getting the GPT membership. I think it's like $20, maybe $25 a month. You just have your API key there, and then it'll just like AI categorize all the different replies that come in. So you don't need to spend the time going through and being like, okay, did this guy say stop, or are they interested in more information, or who should I talk to, right? Like it'll just automatically do that with AI. So you don't need to spend nearly as much time in the inbox here itself. You can just quickly jump in there, filter by interested, info request, and meeting request, and quickly just prompt those emails and those replies there as well. So highly recommend Smart Leads as our sending tool here for when we start spending in mass. If we're looking at anywhere from 40 to 80 to 120 to 200 different sending accounts going after these target personas. And while Smart Leads has its benefit as a sending tool, we still need to make sure that we're hyper personalizing our outreach to ensure that we're speaking to the individual that's getting the email itself and that it's relevant to the world that they're engaging with. And so the two tools that we utilize to really effectively deploy that strategy is Clay and GPT. Now, what Clay is, it's essentially like just an API aggregator. And so it'll pull in a bunch of prospecting tools that can be utilized for sales prospecting efforts. And you'll essentially just take that lead list that you ultimately got out of Million Verify, you can import that there, and then you can pull in all sorts of different unique personalizations from things like where they worked at previously to how many people work in their current department, to if they even like worked with your solution prior when they were there. You can see all sorts of crazy different workflows, and I can go on and on. A couple of my favorite ones right now that we're running for our clients are competitive takedown strategies, utilizing web traffic, providing content ideas, providing blog ideas, backlinking ideas, all sorts of different stuff that you can spin up. But that's really how you can like personalize the email. And then you just utilize the GPT plugin that I mentioned earlier from Smart Leads to really utilize either GPT or Clayagent for some unique web scraping and personalization activities. It'll just help you speak more specifically to that individual persona. And so, for example, like for some of our content and copywriting clients right now, like we're utilizing Clay to essentially bring in a list of all the different businesses and then have it output 3 different or 4 different content ideas with relevant keywords associated for those based on what we're seeing from their SEMrush traffic that's on their website. And so you have to formulate that message that you'll import that into Smart Leads, but it helps you get really targeted and actually like show that you did your work while utilizing AI to help you out at scale. And although this video is going to allow you to make millions with cold emails, chances are if you don't have that real world experience, you're going to be running around in circles. So that's why I just made a video discussing how we create successful cold email campaigns just so you can do it too.